Hello and welcome to the Fade Route NFL podcast. This week we're going to talk about the Thursday night football game last night, but not very much. Then we're going to talk about the game in Madrid on 9:30 and 9:30 this Sunday. The 1 p.m. slate, the 4 p.m. slate, Sunday night football, Monday night football, Croutons, Sinker, Swim 3 for the money. A random fact. Before I do anything else, I'm going to welcome in the mayor. Mayor, how are you?
I am doing pretty good. It's a Friday night. We got another 14 hours of football ahead of us on Sunday. Fortunately for me, I'll be able to catch all of it. Unfortunately for Mrs. Mayer, she will catch all of it too. Right now, there's six teams that only have two losses, and I was firing through pretty quickly. Most of those teams that have two losses had beaten one of the teams that have two losses, and I think there were two bad losses on the resume, one from the Browns and one coming from a division rival, which you can't really consider that a bad loss sometimes. But two playoff matchups this weekend. We're going to get into those in the NFC. Going to be some great football.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get into the random fact and then we can get into actual football stuff. So I mentioned the game is in Madrid, the capital of Spain. It's actually the highest capital in Europe at 2,100 feet.
The highest capital in the world?
The capital city in Europe.
Did you say the highest capital in the world?
No, highest capital in the continent of Europe.
That is fascinating.
No, it's not fascinating. It's just a random fact.
Well, it is, because I thought Switzerland would be maybe a little more elevated.
Yeah, I didn't think it would be Madrid, but it's also less than half as high as Denver, so it's not, I don't know if it's really an elevation thing. Yeah. All right. The bye weeks, it's just two teams this week, Indianapolis and New Orleans. Do you want to talk about Thursday night football? We have the Jets at New England, and the Jets won. I believe they covered. Was it 27-14?
I'm not sure if they covered the line or not, but I went to bed when I knew the Jets had no chance of getting the W.
Well, if it was 27-14, then the Patriots would have covered the -12. But either way, it's in the past. Is there anything to talk about with this game?
No, the Patriots are 9-2. That's about it.
Yeah, and maybe on their way to winning the division. The Madrid game is 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. Washington is at Miami. The over-under is 47. This is going to be an actually interesting game. Miami coming off a crazy win and a good offensive performance, and Washington is kind of a wild card these days. Washington at Miami. I forgot to write down the spread. Do you have the spread on this game?
I see it at -2.5.
All right, that's Miami -2.5.
I thought I saw it at -3.5 at one point, but I'm on CBS right now, not Hard Rock.
All right, the over-under is 47. I don't know. That seems like a lot of points to me.
Yeah, that does seem like a lot of points. Hard to say what Tua is going to show up. It all depends on how many interceptions he throws, on how well Miami does. You know, they can theoretically win the next 7 games and be 10-7 and probably maybe have a chance at the playoffs. I think the funniest thing from the Miami victory over this past Sunday was Mike got in his car and drove by a known Buffalo Bills bar shortly near the stadium and drove by there out of his way to go home just to wave to everybody. And I saw a couple fans got a couple pictures, and I know AI is a thing at the time right now, but that seems likely that scenario will probably happen.
Yeah, if it's real, it's kind of dangerous. Mike McDaniel, not a big guy. I don't think I would have the guts to do that in Buffalo or at a Buffalo bar, rather.
Well, I mean, if you're in a car and they want to try to jump through it like a table, more power to them.
Well, that's true. That's a good point, too. I mean, Mark Sanchez jumped into a car, so I just wouldn't put it past anybody at this point.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on. The Chargers are at Jacksonville. This is the start of the 1 p.m. window. Jacksonville is +2.5 at home. The over-under is 43.5, so this is our first home dog of the week, I guess you could say. The Chargers look better. They look improved. And Jacksonville looks like good old, same old Jacksonville.
Yeah, they're not great, but not terrible. You know, gonna not do much for you. As long as as long as Los Angeles can shake off the East Coast trip, I think they should have no trouble winning this game. They're probably going to cover the spread. I would say that over might even be a little bit in danger. Jacksonville's defense isn't as good as they were maybe 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. A couple injuries now, so I mean that happens. San Los Angeles will win this football game. Mark it.
Yeah, definitely lean that side as well. Houston is at Tennessee. Tennessee +7 at home. The over-under is 38.5. It's a home dog. Houston surprising everybody. Davis Mills, 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter? Insane. But this Tennessee team is just not very good. They had their bye last week, so maybe they had enough time to plan for this Houston team. But I don't see them pulling off an upset here. What do you think?
We'll see about that. Maybe, maybe not. Well, if it depends on which Houston team shows up. Their defense is still really, really good, so I think that's going to favor them in this game. But Tennessee might be able to surprise them at home on a random Sunday afternoon in Nashville.
It sounds like the mayor may have a dusting of croutons on this game.
I will not confirm or deny that until later.
All right, Chicago's at Minnesota. Minnesota -3 at home. 48.5 is the over-under. I wouldn't go anywhere near this particular game myself because these teams are bipolar. I never know which one is going to show up here. So, do you have any thoughts on Chicago or Minnesota?
Those are the right now qualifying for the playoff Chicago Bears, right. But they're not very good. Division game, like you said, it's in a dome, so weather's not going to be a factor. Noise really, hard to say who's going to win this game. 2.5 is probably too much. If it was a pick 'em, it still wouldn't be right. You'd still get it wrong. Probably not even going to pay much attention to this game unless it trots across the red zone at some point.
This is the one that probably swings the pick 'em league because I don't know if it's going to be 50-50, but if it's like most people on Chicago or whatever, we'll look back and see this is the one that changed everything. I don't know. Cincinnati's at Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh favored by 5 or giving 5 at home, so they're -5. 49 is the over-under. I don't think Pittsburgh should be giving that many, but what do you think?
Yeah, that's a lot to give considering their offense isn't necessarily great, and Bengals defense is absolutely atrocious, but the Steelers can't seem to get it done. They always seem to be in that 500 range, but I would have to say that Joe Flacco could light up the Steelers once again for another football team not named the Ravens. Aaron Rodgers has got to play better. He said that. He's making a lot of mistakes. They're a mediocre football team. 5.5 is a lot of points, but I don't have anything on this game, but that's a lot.
Yeah, Cincinnati can score, and Pittsburgh's defense is up and down, so I might have a sprinkling of croutons on that one, but I'm not going to say till later. Line is at Atlanta. Atlanta -3.5 at home. 42.5 is the over-under. This game would have been really boring even 2 weeks ago, but it's a rematch of the 30-0 Carolina game when they beat Atlanta. So these teams are actually still in the playoff picture, which surprises me. But do you have any thoughts on Carolina at Atlanta?
Did you say this game wasn't going to be boring 3 weeks ago?
No, I said it was going to be boring. It definitely was.
I think it still will be boring. But the Falcons, they need to win. They need to win badly. They're already 0-2 in the division. They're 3 games back behind Tampa at the moment, so they need to keep in the arms race with just the Bucs. And beating the Panthers will get them there, but I think the Panthers are going to kind of steady the ship here a little bit, and they're going to give Bucs run for the money in this division, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah, very surprising turn for Carolina. Tampa Bay is at Buffalo. Speaking of Tampa Bay, the line was -5, Buffalo at home. The over-under is 48. I mean, this Buffalo team is, the simple analysis is they have no wide receivers, and their defense isn't very good. So it's just like at the beginning of the season, everybody said the big thing they have going for them is just Josh Allen, and I don't think he can do this himself. But thoughts on this game, Tampa Bay at Buffalo?
Well, he keeps throwing touchdowns, so he's doing something right. Throwing 15 touchdowns on the season. They're 6 in points for the season, so they're getting it done. They're scoring points. They're playing at home. It's going to be cold, I'm sure. Tampa just had a freeze warning of like 40 degrees, so they might not be quite thawed out yet in Tampa. Baker's not used to playing in the snow. I don't know if it's going to be snowing, but it's going to be cold. Bills will be drunk and obnoxious, but I think they're going to get the W, and I think they are going to possibly win by 10 points or more.
You think so, huh?
Yes.
I'm a little afraid of that Buffalo team in terms of putting anything on it, but we'll see. Green Bay at the Giants. Feels like they already played this game, but obviously they did not. Green Bay is at the Giants. Giants +7. 43.5 is the over-under. This is another home dog here. Green Bay doesn't look right either. I guess these teams are kind of sorting things out still. It's kind of late in the season to be sorting things out, but I don't know. Green Bay along with Buffalo. A lot of people's like preseason Super Bowl pick doesn't look that likely anymore. What do you think about Green Bay at the Giants?
When you say a lot of people's Super Bowl choice this year, where are you getting that information from?
It's anecdotal. I've just listened to some NFL talking heads, and they've given that out at the beginning of the season, but
Okay,
nothing
that's
else.
fair. Currently, Brian Dable has the best job in the world. He's going to get paid this week and next week and the week after and 2 years from now, and he's getting paid a lot of money to watch football this weekend.
Yeah,
Do you think he's going to be watching football this weekend, or do you think he's he's got to stay fresh because he's going to want a job again, so he's going to be studying film, and the best way he can do that is watch football and eat Cheetos and drink beer.
I
But
don't.
either way,
I'm trying to think if it was me. I don't think I'd be watching. I think I'd go on some kind of vacation and get away from it for at least a week.
yeah, I don't want to say this for certain. Directly after a very tough 49ers playoff loss and or Super Bowl loss, I tend
Hmm.
to turn off the football for quite some time. Obviously I'm still going to watch the playoffs, but I'm not watching extra coverage or this or that because I'm too much in a state of they didn't do it again.
Yeah,
But I'm also not getting paid $20 million to sit on my couch.
that is
But back
true.
to the Green Bay game, I think Green Bay will win in New Jersey, and they will get to 6-3 on the season and still keep that chance at playoff hopes.
Yeah, I think this is a Russell Wilson game, so this might be his last year, I think. I mean, I don't know. The 4 p.m. window, Seattle's at the Rams, maybe game of the week. The Rams -3 at home, over unders 49. This is a big one for them and for your Niners, for that entire division. This is a big game.
Yeah, it sure is. Like I said, we've got a possible divisional playoff game here. Both of these teams could end up in the conference championship at that point because they would be, so I guess in theory, I want the Seattle Seahawks to win the game because they've lost, they can still beat Seattle and the Rams won, so that would work best in theory, and I actually think Seattle is going to win this game. I think they're slightly marginally better than the Rams, and it's splitting hairs, but that offense can really score a lot of points, and I think the Rams defense doesn't is equally as good with the Seahawks defense, so that kind of gives the favor to the Seahawks, and Los Angeles doesn't really have a home base, so the crowd won't really be a factor. There may be a lot of sea chickens there anyways, but we'll see.
I was gonna mention you're not giving them any respect at home, but you're right. There's no home advantage. San Francisco, your Niners at Arizona. Arizona +2.5, over under 48.5. It's another home dog. Arizona, one of those teams, frisky, I think, a little bit. San Francisco getting healthier on offense, but defense is not so good in terms of health. What do you think about this game?
Yeah, that's this feels like it. I want it to be one of those games where the really big college team books a Division II school for the first game of the season to really build up their confidence. I hope they really go into Arizona and lay the pedal to the metal all game long. Brock Purdy might actually be back again.
Mm-hmm.
They are first in the league in passing at 273 yards a game, but unfortunately they're 23rd in points. Not really able to score a lot of points. Rushing the ball, they're not great. They're downright bad, which is weird. But maybe they can right the ship and get enough players back towards the end of the season. But that defense is going to be the ones that hold them back if anything were to happen in that nature.
Yeah, that's a lot of injuries. Haven't had a lot of luck that way this year. KC is at Denver. Denver plus 3.5 at home. 44 is the over-under. It's another home dog, of course. I guess Vegas is just like Kansas City's gonna be on fire. I mean, this Denver team might be a little bit of a paper tiger with their record, but that's kind of disrespectful at home.
Yeah, it is. And Kansas City hasn't been better on defense or offense this year than Denver. Plus 3.5 for them. That just, I don't know what Vegas is thinking. It just doesn't make a lot of sense on that one.
Just sounds like maybe Denver's a fraud.
Well, that's what Vegas thinks, evidently.
Yeah. All right, Baltimore is at Cleveland. Cleveland plus 8 at home. 39.5 is the over-under. This is another home dog, obviously. We have a bunch of them this week. Thoughts on Baltimore, Cleveland? I mean, Cleveland, what are they going to do at quarterback? Are they looking for a top pick so they can take a quarterback, or what are they doing?
Yeah, they're going to ruin another guy's career again and have him make him bounce around 3 or 4 times to 4 different teams before you end up with Baker Mayfield in Tampa. Yeah, they're terrible. They can't ever seem to get out of this position they're in. It just doesn't make sense anymore. It must be something in the water that's just doesn't allow them to develop football players or put together a good football team, because the guys are professionals, so it doesn't make sense that they can't put a team together ever. Ravens are going to win this game. That 7.5 seems right about right. 39 points. That I might want to look at the over on that one. Maybe not. We'll see.
Okay. Sunday Night Football should be a good game. Detroit at Philadelphia. Philadelphia minus 2.5 at home. 46.5 is the over-under. I don't have a lot to say about this game, but again, just as I said before, I think it's going to be a good one.
Yeah, this could be, like I said, another possible playoff matchup. This is going to be a good game to watch, I think. Luckily, it's already on Sunday night. I think we're going to see Detroit flex their muscles here, and I think Philadelphia can be a lot like how you were talking about Denver, a little bit of a fraudulent paper team. They are 8-2, but they're not doing anything great right now other than the tush push, which I think after that game last week, even Troy Aikman said, he's like, okay, this play is not working anymore, and here's the evidence. So, once you lose the tush push, they're going to lose some football games.
Yeah, that will be interesting to see how that plays out over the course of the rest of the season if it's not able to work anymore. I got a question for you food-wise, though. So, Detroit-style pizza or Philly cheesesteaks?
You should know I'm a pizza guy. I'm going to pick pizza every time. There's only one person that ever made a really good cheesesteak, and he no longer works or owns that restaurant. D'Angelo's in Venice was phenomenal with his cheesesteaks, but pizza all day long.
What about Philly cheesesteak pizza?
Yeah, I still go, throw me some pepperoni and cheese on that bad boy and add some red sauce, and, we'll go half and half or something like that.
Yeah, I just thought that was an interesting matchup food-wise. All right, Monday Night Football, Dallas at Las Vegas. Las Vegas plus 3 at home. 50 is the over-under. This is another home dog. I don't trust Dallas. Las Vegas looks pretty pathetic. I don't want to touch this game. Do you have any thoughts on Dallas at Las Vegas?
Oh boy, I mean, you can see the disappointment in Jerry Jones' eyes already when they lose this football game. I'm putting them on, I guess, upset alert. I don't know how you upset a 3-win football team. An unexpected loss, I don't even know. I think Las Vegas is going to get it done at home, put on a show for the Cowboy fans that came all the way out from Irving, Texas. I might make it through all of this game. I might not. We'll see how it goes by halftime.
Yeah, some of these Monday Night Football games have been kind of hard to watch, but let's hope for a good one. All right, we're moving on. Croutons went 2 for 2 last week with Seattle minus 6.5. I was watching that game, and I think, was it 30? It was like 38-7 at one point in the first half. It was definitely like 31-0 or something. I was like, I'm pretty good with Seattle minus 6.5 right now.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't try to flip that for like $1 or $2 on the money line win the other direction. That was a big game for you. I went 1-1, I think, in my Croutons last week. I can't get above. I'm down 350 so far on the season. I can't get off that mark. I may have to get aggressive, very aggressive, but it's not even playoff time yet, so I may have to. I don't know. We'll see.
I mean, there's always borrowing from Uncle Vinny, so keep that on the table for now. I know that saved me at least once. Got back to good graces. Cincinnati. Okay, sorry. The The other game I got Jacksonville at Houston, the over 37.5. It took some miraculous Davis Mills plays in the fourth quarter, but I did get that one as well. Do you want to move on to this week's Croutons?
Yeah, may as well. I've got 3.
Okay, you start.
Well, I had 2 before the podcast started, and I talked myself into one as we were talking about the game. So I'm going to start with that one. Buffalo minus 5.5. Hosting Tampa, I'm going to put 50 on that. As we were talking through the game, I realized Buffalo is going to win big, and I'm going to take Buffalo.
All right. I mean, I think Buffalo's shaky, but I think Baker Mayfield's the type of guy who'd drive by a Buffalo bar after if they won the game or if they lost the game, frankly. I feel like Baker Mayfield's going to
go in the bar and have a beer.
All right. That's true. My first one is Cincinnati +5. I kind of hinted at it at Pittsburgh for 50 Croutons. I don't know why Cincinnati won't just be able to keep up with this Pittsburgh team offensively. I don't know that they're going to win outright, but I think +5 is too many points for this Pittsburgh team.
Okay. I'm not quite with you on that one, but good luck to you on that. We'll see what happens. I think Pittsburgh could be hot or cold, but I don't know if Cincinnati's going to get it done for you. My second bet, I'm going to the Mile High City. Denver's getting 3.5 points at home. You know, they may be paper, they may be fraudulent, they may be that, but Kansas City is hot and cold, and it's going to be cold in Denver. And I will go Denver plus 3.5 or 50.
Yeah, I mean, I picked Denver to win the division. That was one of my big shocking surprises, but I worry about them a little bit because they don't seem to show up for 3 quarters, but seem to pull off the win anyway. So good luck to you on that one. My last one is the Chargers -2.5 at Jacksonville. I think now that I've seen them play a couple of good games, I think I'm ready to take the Chargers. So I've got them -2.5 at Jacksonville for 50 Croutons.
You know, I'm done taking the Chargers. They always get me. They're going to win that game. That bet makes sense, but I will not be with you on that. They always seem to get me. My very last bet, I'm going to take the Seattle Seahawks getting 3 points going into a Rams matchup down in LA. I already talked about it a little bit. I think Seattle's going to win outright. So give me the three free points, and I'll bet 50 on that.
All right. So those are our Crouton picks for this week. Sink or swim, I've got Houston. They're playing Tennessee. I know Tennessee had extra time to prepare for them, but this is my week to take Houston, I think. What about you?
You may have a problem. You are leading sink or swim, but Houston ain't going to be it this week. Sorry to tell you. It's not too late to change that pick. If you want to, I'll allow it. I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers. I think if they want any resemblance of having a chance at the rest of the season, they know they're going to have to get this one done. I think they're going to get it done. And, I mean, even if Brock Purdy comes out, a little shaky, Mac Jones is there ready, and not to necessarily replace him permanently, but to, get the game done. But I think it'll be a heavy dose of Christian McCaffrey and pepper in some passes to Kittle and, a little bit to Juwan. And I think the 49ers can get this one done big time.
Maybe Pearsall back as well. So, yeah. All right. Fair enough. Let's talk 3 for the money. So you had the bigger bet last week. So do you want to take this one? This game would be a lot more fun if one of us could win one of these, but well, it'll happen eventually.
I thought you had the bigger bet.
Oh, sorry. I did last week. You're right.
Yeah.
All right, let me go first. I took the early window. I am taking the Bucks, so you can scratch that one right off right away, I guess. I'm taking the Texans. Again, you're scratching that one off. And I'm taking the Chargers. That's +556.
Wow, okay. I dug into the well a little bit on this one. I got Denver at home. Denver, Detroit, and San Francisco for +872. I don't know how that happened, but I think they're really confident in Kansas City. I've got a couple follow-ups on just random bets, parlays that are sitting out there in the world right now. Joe Flacco has better odds of winning the MVP than the Dolphins do the Super Bowl right now. Speaking of which, I did bet one on the Dolphins to win the Super Bowl, which will pay me $100,000 if they end up winning. So Hard Rock is probably going to break to his ankle if that happens to begin with. And so if you want your $1 million push, of that $10 we were talking about wasting, throw it on Miami before Sunday another win comes down, and get yourself a chance at $1 million ticket. Probably more rare than the golden ticket, but yeah. Good luck.
Well, as I like to say, you can't afford not to.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else? Any other parlays,
Yeah,
player
actually, I
props?
have the Mayor's top 6 power rankings for the week.
All right.
I think after I wrote them all down and did it all, then I realized that we got a couple of these top contenders playing each other this week. Maybe I should have
Mm-hmm.
waited one more week. It doesn't matter. I got the Colts at the top of the power rankings right now. They've got an average margin victory of 12 points. They are the best offense in the league, and their defense is pretty good, too. Coming in second, I've got Seattle and then Denver. Denver's got a great defense on a 7-game win streak. Coming in fourth, they got the Rams. They're 7-2. They're averaging 37 points in their last 3 games. So, they're proven to be a very good team in the league. And then the Lions and the Patriots in 5-6. I think it's a little too early to say how good the Patriots are. They could be fortunate of a very good schedule as well, but they're winning football games, and they're, doing it by just playing great football and not necessarily scoring a lot, but controlling clock, not causing turnovers and doing it the right way. But when you run into a really good team, that kind of comes pretty short. What do you think?
I think that's a good list. Who do you think has the best odds right now of playing in the Super Bowl matchup?
What now?
Which two teams do you think have the best odds best combination to make it to the Super Bowl?
Probably the Seahawks and the Colts, honestly, at the moment. They're both just scoring tons of points a game, and if you can't, that's what it comes down to at this point. If the defense can't stop them, they're going to score 30, and if you don't score 30, you're in trouble.
Yeah, that would be a surprising Super Bowl if you told me that at the beginning of the season, but it looks like it's very possible now. I don't have the odds in front of me. I should have prepared the odds for that, but I don't actually know which two teams have the best odds as a pair, but we're going to assume Indy and Seattle probably up there pretty high.
Yeah, I was playing around in some of those yesterday, but I didn't write any of the top odds down.
All right, I think that's it for me.
Yeah.
All right, another somewhat short episode. We do have a long Sunday ahead of us, so hopefully everybody gets to enjoy that fully, the 14 hours of football that we get. And for the mayor and myself, we will talk to you next week.